I'm Max Weber. Hopefully you are not pressing and aren't like me and don't be me. Hopefully I get help and things like that. I'll get therapy and medication soon, so follow that example. You should definitely look up things on if you're unsure, look it up and things like that. Get more information. But anyway, sympathy versus empathy. I don't really know, you should look up like the definitions and everything to be more specific. I'm just talking about personal feelings and personal take on things. For me, I feel like sympathy, can't say words, yeah. Sympathy is different than empathy, obviously. I have a lot of empathy because I've experienced a lot of negative crap and a lot of depression and anxiety. So if you're depression and anxiety, like, I have empathy because I know what that feels like because I'm feeling it. We experience the same thing, so I'm empathetic. And I'm sympathetic because I might not have experienced the exact same thing as you, but I experienced something very similar to it, and you know how that feels, or I can imagine how that feels, and something similar, or at least have an idea, and I've experienced pain, and so I'm sympathetic if you're also depressed and abused and have different problems. I've had different abuse experience than I have, like abusive relationships and romance and toxic relationships. I can sympathize a little. I can sympathize with that, not empathize at all, because I've never experienced that, because I'm single. I don't know relationships. I've heard about things, so I can sympathize, and I can feel bad for you, and try and lift you up, and try and make you feel better. But that's it. But yeah, but if your cat dies, I swear, I had this experience all the time in school, when, friends, and mostly friends of friends, like a lot of people weren't really my friends, they were all my best friend's friends. I was like, they were all friends with my best friend. So we were all just friends, because we all just hung out together. You know? You're just a group of friends, which just really means everybody's a friend of a friend of a friend. Yeah. That's a mess. There's a group of friends. Anyway, in groups of friends, different ones that I've filtered out, that I've gone through, you know, because I was almost friends with every single girl, literally, and that was ever in my class. I was friends with them at some point. Might have been the shortest, like, day or two, or shortest weeks ever, but we were friends for the shortest time. But I was almost friends with every single one of them. But anyway, so throughout that mess, I was always confused, and I'm still confused and baffled, and I have zero sympathy. A lot of times it makes me angry and everything. Most of the time it does. Usually get more angry about different things. When I hear people complain and they feel sad and they cry about different things. When I don't know how to deal with, I don't understand or know how to deal with or can sympathize with people crying most of the time. Yeah, I just can't. No, there's nothing there. Yeah, because examples is like, yeah, this one girl talked about how, she was really sad and upset, maybe even cried a little bit. Not sure, I don't remember that well. I didn't really understand. Yeah, I wasn't sympathetic, and I was kind of pissed off. I was like, really? You're sad about that? She was so sad that her cat died. Yeah, my cat died. My first cat died when I was like 5 or 6. And then we've gone through a lot of other animals and like cycle of life, and also my dad would butcher goats all the time and kill chickens, and we literally had to pluck out of chickens. And there would literally be like a bowl of blood on the table and everything. It always made me feel nauseous and everything. Great, you know. So animals dying, and even like ones we loved, and like, yeah, almost all the dogs and all the dogs, cats, chickens, birds, ducks, goats. Oh, and even horses. They all died. We all own them, and they all died. Well, not every single one of them, because we still have chickens. Maybe almost every single one of the original ones, because we need to keep buying more. A lot of them died. Most of them weren't killed by cats. They were mostly killed by coyotes and, we see, possums and raccoons. A lot of raccoons. We catch them all the time. And a lot of pets went missing all the time. Dogs would run away, cats ran away. Most of them were wild anyway. So they just wandered back where they came. They just left. They went back home. Yeah. And then I lost a turtle for a little bit. I'm not good at caring animals. Not that great. Oh, yeah. Helped my fear and everything of. So I experienced a lot of death, so I was sympathetic. You're like, oh my god, your cat cried. Oh my god. Like, yeah. Roll my eyes, be ignored. Yep. Kind of just more pissed me off. I was like, really? The first time your animal died? Experienced this for years. It's like a yearly thing. We literally, like, butcher like 5 goats in a year. And kill like 10 chickens. Literally taught how to kill them, like, and shoot them in the head with a BB gun. I picked the BB gun because, I don't think I actually killed it. I never killed anything. Was it because I wasn't that great of a shot, you know? I didn't hit it. I missed when I was shooting a BB gun. I learned and practiced shooting a real gun a few times. Well, with real bullets, not just BB gun. Yeah, with the small BB gun. I didn't actually kill anything because I tried to hit the chicken, but I missed because I'm just not, I can't aim. Just bad at it, you know? And then cats were always bringing dead animals, dead mice. A few times they brought live mice and then just played with it for like hours. They're like, you're alive, you're still breathing. Okay, I'm gonna play with you and not eat you. And then kill you. And then also just kill it and then play with it and not eat it. So we had a lot of good creatures, and then, oh, also, a dog died. We did have a dog. The longest time we had a dog. A lot of our dogs died. They get run over. Dad had to shoot one. One was called Blue. He had to be put down. My dad just shot him and buried him before I was born. That one died. And another one was given away. Yeah, dog Griffin. I like that one. It was a golden retriever. It's pretty old. They kept leaving our property and running around, and was a little protective and was growling at people. So it had to be sent away. Otherwise, we'd get in trouble and she might bite someone, so we'd have to put her down. So to avoid that, she was sent away. She was given to someone, but then during the transaction, when she was given to someone, literally, like right after she was given to someone else, she ran away from them. So who knows where she is. It's been a long time, so she's probably dead by now. She wasn't that old, but she was an adult, and she was older. Yeah, but, sorry, the one I was talking about before, the dog we had for the longest time, when that wasn't run over and didn't run away. Yeah, that one, the only one, yep, it was a lab. Yeah, Domino. Yes, we called him Domino. That's what's his name. Anyway, he was a black lab and a pug mix. No, it wasn't a pug mix, it was a bulldog mix. Yeah. He might have been a little bit of something else, but I'm pretty sure there's only two. So he was a big, muscular black dog. Yeah. He had a few dots on him, mostly on his belly, but a few white dots other places. So we named him Domino. Anyway, he lived for a few years, but he died mostly from heat stroke. That was, yeah. He was chasing the truck we were driving in a field, just like in the fenced area and everything. Just out in the country and everything. And he was running along behind us and everything. We weren't going super fast. But yeah, he was running alongside of us, and then we didn't see him running anymore. So he just died in the field. Mostly from heat stroke, but he mostly died from heat stroke because we kept feeding him a really unhealthy diet. That just, yeah. I think you're not really supposed to feed a dog a lot of bread and a lot of pizza, and yeah. Yeah, he'd eat anything, you know, so, but we fed him a lot of things we didn't really learn or really know, and we should have learned and follow the rules of what you're supposed to feed a dog and what you're not supposed to feed a dog. Yeah, so it was a lot of his diet, and then heat stroke, so it killed him. So yeah, I'm not sympathetic towards that whatsoever. And then there was this one girl. I was friends with her for a little while, yeah. Yeah, I remember her name. She was Grace. I remember her name because I used to have that same middle name before I changed it, obviously. That was my middle legal name, so I'm not offended by it or anything. There were a lot of people I met afterwards that had the name Grace, and I was like, since I was born first and I had it first, you stole my name. Haha. I guess that was a joke. Serious whatsoever. But yeah, so her name was Grace, and she was sitting at the table during lunch, and she was crying. And I was like, why are you crying? And she's like, my dad. It was my dad. No, that would make more sense. Nope. It wasn't her dad. It was like her grandpa died. And it might have been like even extended, like great grandpa or something like that. But she had never met them, and she was crying. So zero sympathy, and also zero sympathy towards death, like whatsoever, because no, I was a little bit sympathetic for a little while towards death, because I had one friend, but we weren't really that close. Jasmine, that I also will probably mention if I ever make a Me Too video with all that trauma, you know. She died. Oh yeah, that was before 4th grade. She died when I was like around 3rd grade. Yeah, so a little after that, I also had trauma to deal with. It was great. I was involved with her brother. Yeah, so that's the whole Me Too movement thing. Yeah. Great brother to deal with. Yeah, so, laughing my problems off. So I'm not sympathetic whatsoever towards that, because, like, all those dead animals, they always die all the time. And then, so not sympathetic towards that, and also people dying, like, oh my god. And if also people felt, like, a little sad or complained about, oh my god, my parents were mean to me, or like, just things that are like, oh my god, they didn't buy this or that, they're just being spoiled. That all just pissed me off. I was like, you're not thankful, you're complaining, I don't have any of these things you're talking about. Yeah, so I would just hate them. I was like, when they complained about that, I would just hate them. I was like, now I officially hate you, I'm never speaking to you again. And then I'd forget about them most of the time, because I don't remember their name. But yeah, so when they were just complaining and talking about that, or just their regular problems, everyday problems, just, you know, normal problems that people could normally relate to, they were like, yeah, I have this problem, I have this problem. I had zero sympathy. So if you do not have a real serious mental health problem where you need medicated and you need, like, immediate help, you've experienced real trauma and things like that, I have zero sympathy. I can't help you. Don't talk to me. Go away. Go, just go, leave. Nothing's gonna come through this conversation. It's not gonna happen. Just no. The mask has blue fire on it. Anyway. Sorry, slight distraction. But yeah, no sympathy. And so, let me see. Gonna try and list them, you know. Okay, so I have literally almost every single one of my family members are dead. All of my uncles are dead. My grandpa was the first to die. Great-grandparents, never met them, never knew about them, and my grandmother on my father's side, never met her. Most of them died when I was still a baby or before I was even born. My mom just turned 60 this year, so she had me when she was... I finally fixed my mouth. Math. Can't fix my mouth yet. So she's 60 and I'm 21. Birthday was literally like 4 days apart. Literally. So she was in her... I guess she was 41. She was 39 or 41. Or 40. I can't do math. I'm pretty sure 41 is probably correct. I can't fix it. Good luck with math. I can't do math. It's great. I always sucked at math. I was really bad. I can do division, though. Division and subtraction, I can do. That's why I was usually always off one or whatever. I always sucked at multiplication and adding. Everyone was good at adding and multiplication, but they sucked at subtraction and division. I was the opposite way. I literally had to do subtraction and division to figure out multiplication and to find the answers and to be able to do and understand and figure out multiplication and addition. I have to do the opposite. I have to do subtraction. I mostly like it because I like having big numbers and then making them smaller. Probably also dealing with my habit of, mostly because I got inspired because I saw my sister writing really neat and like smaller. Smaller than me anyway, and like smaller than what I usually saw. So I went on my drought and I got stuck in it, and now I still write pretty small. I write bigger, but I can still write really, really tiny. Or like no one can see my writing. I used to get in trouble at school. They would be like, I can only grade you a little bit. I get knocked down quite a bit on my grades. In like 5th and 6th grade, I get knocked down quite a few grades because the teachers couldn't read my writing because it was too small. And also part of it was also because I just used a pencil and I didn't sharpen it a lot because I was like, so a lot of it was like faded, so it would be faded and super tiny. So, and he'd always, 6th grade teacher would always joke about how you need a magnifying glass to be able to see it, see the writing. I think as a joke I actually got him one. I think I actually gave him a magnifying glass so he could read my writing. I don't know. I don't know if that was a dream or if that was real or what. That's the problem I have. Sometimes they mesh together. My daydreams and real dreams and, yeah, and memories. I can't tell the difference all the time. It's a mess. In my head, it's all a mess. Oh, yeah. Oh, but yeah, so Grandpa died. Uncle died. Uncle died. Like, just throughout the years. So I've been a lot of funerals, and there were quite a few funerals I didn't go to, because almost all of them were held in, like, Fort Wayne. Mostly because, apparently, there was a lot of burial plot where we put them in the ground that was all bought and paid for and everything, and all set up in Fort Wayne. And that's where my dad grew up and everything. It was mostly his relatives. Yeah, so I didn't go to my grandpa's funeral, but I'm pretty sure he had a bunch of cancer, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't really know. Just on my mom's side, and I think he had lung cancer, heart problems, brain problems, the whole body. Yeah, he was just really, really sick, and we literally visited him. So I was like 12, 13, 10. We would like visit him yearly. And they'd all be like really sad every time we'd go over, because every time we thought we were saying goodbye, we were all waiting for him to die. We all thought he was going to die. And every time we visited, we thought it was the last time, but it wasn't, so we had to see them again. Literally every time happened. Yes. That was the expectations. But my grandpa apparently was only in his early 60s when he died. My dad was 70 when he died. 71, 72, 73, probably at the oldest. And right now he'd probably be... You can do the math, I can't. He's 16 years older than my mom, who's now 40... Nope, she's not 40. I keep getting things wrong. She's 60. So... Oh, he'd be 76. He'd be 76 right now. My father was alive, so, oh, he was like 75, 74, 73 when he died. But yeah. Sorry, that's me slow, trying to figure out math. But yeah. Yeah. So I think he was like 65 when he died. He could have maybe even been like 59. I'm not sure. I was like maybe 8 or 10 when he died. Yeah, so that was the first funeral I went to with my grandpa. And I knew him, and we always went next door, and I saw him all the time. And then later, so before my dad died, which was 2021, or 2020, I don't remember things. So like 2018, 2019, my step-grandma finally died, just because she was really sick, and we thought she would be dead, already died in quite a while. Spent like 2 years. She said, seeing a doctor, and they were like, she doesn't have that much longer to live and everything, so we'd visit her almost every single Sunday. So we're like, any day now. She lived for a while. She lived for like a year, more than we thought anyway. Maybe 2 years? I don't think 2 years though. Maybe just a year. A year to a few months. Longer than we thought anyway. But yeah, she died. So she finally joined him in heaven or whatever. Oh wait, I don't believe in heaven. but she did, so technically I guess she would have thought she got in heaven, because I believe that, like, all those heavenly experiences and everything can be explained because you're literally dying, so you can imagine and see whatever you want. Your lack of oxygen and blood loss and everything, and your brain is dying and shutting down, so you're going to hallucinate, and you can see light, darkness, dead people, anything you want, and anything you think about and care about and value and all of that. So you can experience heaven in the last few minutes and seconds and hours of your life until your body is completely dead and shut down. So maybe she experienced heaven, maybe she experienced hell, I don't know. Completely up to her. Yeah, her brain and everything. So good luck with that. Yeah, so she died, and then before that, oh, I should put this in all in order. So all the people, grandparents and great-parents and all that, everybody before my grandpa, on my dad's side, grandpa and dad's side. Then, well, all I know and all I remember, all the main funerals that I remember. Oh, I should include non-memory, the one non-family member I went to, funerals I went to. I went to a lot of them, I don't remember them. So, okay, because both my mom and my dad came from, like, decently big-sized families. They weren't, like, super big. I think it's really weird that they're like, oh my god, we're gonna make, like, a giant family after coming from big families. All of us went, like, small to medium-sized families, except for, apparently, my sister Rachel, because she's had, like, 5 kids. So she went to a decent-sized family, pretty big one. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. Sorry, a little off track, but mostly staying on topic. Surprisingly, kind of proud of myself. Yeah, so, grandpa, friend, Jasmine, bullshit, yeah. She was the second funeral I remember. Then 3 sign language, just because this is W. So, yeah. Perfect. It's the only difference in counting between sign language and regular counting. I might be wrong. I don't know. Memory's faulty. Anyway. So, grandpa, friend. Was he a friend of a friend? Playmate. Someone came over. Sister, my friend's brother. Yeah. My brother's friend. I said that wrong. Yeah. Then Uncle B. Uncle Paul. Grandma. Wait. Grandpa? Oh. The other grandpa first, and then grandma. Yeah, that's right. Grandpa, other grandpa on mom's side. Then grandma, step-grandma on... Sorry, apparently power saving mode turned on, so it cut my video for a minute. Yeah, so... Grandpa, uncle... Oh, sorry. Grandpa, friend, uncle, Uncle B, and Uncle Paul. Both my dad's brothers, I believe. Not 100% certain about Uncle B. Maybe they just weren't as close or whatever. I don't know. Uncle Paul was, like, really close in age to my dad. As one of his brothers. So, the guys died before the girls. They really did. That statistic or whatever about women living longer is really accurate, especially for my family. Almost all the guys died before the women. Pretty much. But yeah. Grandpa, friend, uncle, grandpa, step-grandma, father's side. This grandpa was on my mom's side, the one we'd visit all the time in Nebraska, so I didn't go to a funeral. Just my mom left for a week, so I mostly remember. Size limit was reached on my phone, so sorry about that. So I'm gonna have to combine these videos. Some more problems for me editing. Sorry to self. Yeah. So one in Nebraska, that was my grandpa. And then step-grandma. And then father. And then, my grandma on my mom's side in Nebraska. One of the reasons why my mom's gone for Thanksgiving and Black Friday and everything, is because one of the last few times she's gonna see her mom. So my grandma on that side, is not dead yet. Just my father's dead. Yeah, she's 91. So I think also I had an aunt, or like her aunt or cousin or something, on my mom's side that, we had like 100 birthdays, or like, some of them might have been like 90. Mostly they were family gatherings, but used someone's birthday as an excuse to get together and everything. She turned like 90 and 100 and things. She lived for a while. I think she's dead now. I don't know. I think so. Yeah, she shouldn't be dead. But I don't remember going to her funeral. I don't know. Just unknown. She could have also been like a friend of the family. I don't know if she was relative. I think she was. She should have been, since we always had our family. She was at 2 of our family gatherings, and we had family reunions. And usually held them on her birthday. So, yeah. But I have no idea on the timeline where she died. It would have been after my grandpa, though. It would have been sometime after my grandpa. The first one listed, sorry. My first grandpa died, on my dad's side. Yeah, so then, she will be my last grandparent, the only grandparent I have still alive. And my grandma, not in good terms with anyone, just about. Yeah, I never came out to grandparents, because they all did, so I guess I'm lucky in that respect, because I didn't like them anyway. And, like, my parents interact well. I have zero expectations for them. There's no way. Plus, I never came out the second time to my parents. I literally just came out on Facebook. They found out that way. Changed because I updated my Facebook profile. That's how they found out, and that's how other relatives found out too. That's how my Aunt Jewel and a few other, Aunt Mary, and then cousins and second cousins. I have quite a few of those. I think I mostly just have second cousins. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, but they all found out. They were all really, surprisingly, all really supportive and everything when I went to my last family gathering. They're all understanding and supportive and all of that. They're really nice. And also told me about how we have mental health history from my grandma. Apparently, grandma, before, the one that died before I was born, she was in the mental hospital for a while, and she might have committed suicide. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. Oh, also, something I forgot to mention about, I have one of the uncles named is Paul Wybrew. Also, my Uncle B, his real name wasn't B. I don't remember what it was. We only called him Uncle B. He always brought, I only remember because he was really nice. Mostly, he was just really nice overall, and then he was really nice because he brought jelly donuts. I love that. Jelly and cream-filled donuts, every time. For our reunions. Whenever we met for holidays and things like that, he'd always bring jelly-filled donuts. He always brought donuts. So, that's what I really miss. He was really nice, though. So yeah. That was the only comment about him, sorry. But anyway, she's about to die. My only grandparent is my mom. My mom's mom. Her. She's forgetting more and more. She has Alzheimer's, I believe. She's 91. I'm pretty sure that's what the text said anyway. Not positive, I don't really remember. I try to filter out and skip and delete most of my mom's messages, mostly in my head, because we had to teach her over and over again and help her correct a lot of her text messages and posts and things like that. She's really bad at communicating, finding words. And when she does, it doesn't make sense. And even if it's like a normal conversation, it doesn't always make sense and not usually credible, and usually a tangent about politics and being Republican and being a Christian and being homophobic and racist and all of that stuff. So it's not the greatest, so better just filter it out, you know. Just keep a few things that make sense. Just also reverse and like flip around and do that whole word search. Not word search, well, you do have to do word search. You have to search through all the words she's saying to find out what she's actually saying and what words she wants to use that she has forgotten and misplaced, and literally flip the conversation backwards and reverse it and literally change it to the opposite of what she's saying to actually get the message that she is saying. She'll say a lot of things opposite. She's gotten better, but still, you need to keep all this in mind when you communicate. So it might not be accurate, but she should be 91, or at least in that range. Yeah. So she's gonna die soon. So she'll probably have to leave again for a few weeks soon. So this year, probably next year. She lived for quite a while. I'm pretty sure she's Alzheimer's. My step-grandma also had Alzheimer's. We got one left. I helped out with her for a little while. It was actually easy to deal with her, because, when I had to deal with her, she was in a wheelchair. And so she wouldn't, like, be bratty and throw a fit, because she believes she's a child, and everything. It was also a little weird that I heard about her getting in, like, a romantic relationship. And she'd also had a husband before she remarried, and became my stepmother. So her husband died, so a lot of complications with her memory and everything, and then she'd also forgot she was married and who she was married to and all of that crap. So her memory was going out and everything like that. It was a little painful for me, just a little bit, just because, mostly just because it caused fear that me forgetting everything and acting like that later, and also, which I guess is a possibility, because I'm pretty sure that's what's happening on my mom's side, so I might get a little bit of that. Unknown for sure, though. I don't know how it played in the genetic pool, if I'll inherit that or not. Okay. But definitely a mess. Yeah. But she thinks she's a child right now. And when my dead grandma was alive, and it was easy to deal with her when she believed she was a child, when I visited, just because I'd help push around her right after church when I was still forced to go. Yeah, that bullshit, yeah. Not a cursing, sorry about that. It's been a habit in my last few videos. That's because the Chad's asleep right now. Hehehe. I curse as much as I want. But let's talk about trauma and shit, so. A lot of cursing. Cursing to get words out. Oh, it was actually helpful when I watched this random. Might have been. Sorry, I don't know when it cut out. I was talking about Kingsman and how in the movie, got a secret therapist, and during one of the training sessions and everything, they were cussing. So, and it helped because he didn't stutter when he cursed. So they would have him cussing, just all curse words, and then they would slowly just filter in a few non-curse words, and he'd get through the speech. Eventually, at the end of the movie, he got through the speech, and it was beautiful. But that was one of the tactics that they used and everything to help him and make it so he didn't stutter. So that's impressive. Yeah. Sorry. Side note. Yeah. But anyway, I did when I went and I helped at the nursing home. Well, I just visited. I got complimented. It was weird. So I guess I was kind of, that's the only reason I said I was good at handling her, because I was complimented a few times by different people when visiting, because at the time she was in a wheelchair. She got really thin. She became even thinner. After like the first few times I saw people in a casket, I just didn't look at the bodies anymore. And just try to avoid the line and everything. Just didn't get in line and all that. I just didn't look at them. They all look the same, you know. It's really pale body, dressed in clothes. They just look really sickly and look dead. And like right before they die, when all these relatives right before they die, most of the time I see them a little bit before, they already look like they're dead. To me, they look the same. Yeah. In the video right before my dad died, when we had that conference, I didn't say I love you back because I'd get punished from that anymore. You can't hit me anymore for not lying to you and saying the same lies that you said to me. I love you. Haha. Yeah, I stopped saying I love you at the end of phone calls to them and being specific and choosing and making a choice and being specific about who I said I love you to. So I got out of the habit of saying I love you on the phone calls and things. So, okay, sorry, side note. Yeah. But anyway, I was good at dealing with her as a child and everything, just because I would just start and just be like, nope, but for the most part, I just was silent. I didn't really respond to her being childish and everything, and throwing tantrums and everything. Mostly because it only really happened because she didn't want to, during dinner time, they have a set time and everything at the nursing home. Usually came around that time anyway. She was in a wheelchair, so she'd get wheeled over to the table and everything like that, and have her meal in front of her, and then she'd be like refuse to eat or like play with her food or just push it away and push away the table and leave the table and everything like that, and refuse to settle down to eat. So when that happened, I just stand up, and if I was sitting down or whatever, I usually just stood up, and then I'd wheel her away. I just push the wheelchair up and down the hallway and away from the table for a little bit, just every time she did that. So then she would calm down, and then we'd try again at the table, and if she acted up again, just take her away, go down the hall a few times, try again. And that always worked, at least when I was dealing with her. I didn't have to deal with her that many often. It was only a few times anyway. Also, I want to comment and explain, and furthermore, my short about border control. I'm just talking about complaints about immigration and everything. A lot of people, people shouldn't be like so against it, and also shouldn't be like I understand like it's a real problem. Well, actually, I don't know, and I don't really understand if it's a real problem or what. But a lot of times, it's made way bigger into a really big problem when it's not. I do understand that sometimes it is true that, and it can be a problem that there are so many people coming here illegally and getting money and free support from the government when we have our own problems, and we have enough poor people, and we need more money for the people. So I had to delete things and everything. It's been a mess. I don't know if I can actually edit this video or not. If I can save it. Dang it. Yeah, but for immigration, when I was explaining everything, I understand that sometimes it can, we don't have enough people to, enough money. There are complaints about, like, people are homeless, and we have our own poor, and we have our own problems. So I understand that, like, inflation and a lot of illegal immigration, really doesn't help that, and just causes more problems, a little bit more of a burden. And that there's a possibility that they could be getting funds that could go to people who were born here, who are not, to other immigrants, people who aren't here illegally, and who have citizenship, and who need the money. Yeah. Okay, but arguments and complaints about like that aren't facts and aren't really supported like that, I don't really understand, and I don't really know those facts. So yeah, but for the most part, the arguments I hear and everything I think are really stupid, and they're just people complaining about people coming to our country and about immigration and border, and just wanted to harm her down and make border control even more stricter and things like that. And just the insanity that Trump had of building a wall and making Mexico pay for it and all of that bullshit. You know what I mean. Um, which I think is just really funny and really stupid. Because there's nothing valid or anything to support the arguments, and they shouldn't be making those arguments and all of that, because almost every single one of us came from a different country. Literally, we are all illegal immigrants. We're all well, really, we're all just descendants of murderers, pretty much. Well, just in general, and also because well, especially if you believe in like the Bible, how we're all just really, really distantly related. All apparently came from the same two people originally. Originally, there being only two people, and no, I don't believe that. But yeah, because either you brought the smallpox, or you held a gun, or a knife, or yeah. Great now. And my grandpa or great grandpa or whatever, I personally come a long way. I have nothing like my tree, my family tree. They're like, apple doesn't fall from the tree. No, it did in my case, because homophobic and racist family members. Yeah. Because one of my like pretty sure only like a great grandpa. They weren't like great grandpa or anything like that. Probably maybe like only a great grandpa. Maybe even on both sides of my family. They were in the KK, so just murders, just descendants of murders. Yeah. Sorry, personal matter got involved. But no, what I'm talking about, they technically all descendants of illegal immigrants, because we all just fled and ran away from England or other countries, or Germany. They're mostly German descendants. I have a little bit of Irish in me, and I don't know how close it's related to, but I'm mostly just German and English in my blood. So I'm really, like, I'm pretty sure my last name means white bread, or just, yeah. My brew, I'm pretty sure in German means white bread, so literally pure white, pure cracker in me, through and through. Yeah. So, 100% that way. Yeah, so I'm a long way from my tree. Anyway, so Ireland, German, and England, so all white. Also, Paul Wybrew, my uncle, is not the famous one. Apparently we are related to the famous one. Just like super distant related, obviously. Very, very distantly related to the famous Paul Wybrew, who was the Queen's Guard in England. So it was during one of the migrations, and one of the distant relatives, because one of our English relatives, super distant, obviously, and all of that. Or like a cousin who moved like 50 times or something. I don't know. I don't know how closely they're related. We're not that closely related, though. Just a distant relative. Very distant relative. Yeah. Sorry. Side note. Yeah. I'm being a wreck. But yeah. Since everyone, like, they came on the Mayflower, and we killed all of the original people. Native Americans? No, the original. They're the real Americans. Native Americans. They're the real Americans. Like, we should actually call them maybe something else. I don't know. Indigenous people. It's a good name. Maybe something else too. Like, I don't know the original language and what they originally called their land in this country, what it was referred to before we made it, before the map maker, America. His name was used to call it America. I don't know why we ever had Columbus Day. Like, almost all countries and everything were discovered and originally found by Vikings. America was found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. A few hundreds of years ago, I'm not sure exactly when, before Columbus, who didn't even find it. He found the islands below it. He never went to America. He didn't get close to it. You were never there, bud. You were never there. You were below it. You were close to it, but you never found America. Literally, never found it. Just, we're never there. Yeah. So, yeah, no. It was Vikings. And Vikings named Ireland, and yep, maybe they didn't name Ireland. I don't know. Pretty sure they named Iceland and Greenland. And I heard that they named Greenland to trick people, because they thought it was Iceland. So Iceland is more like Greenland. Just switch the names. I don't know though. It's a story I heard. But yeah, we weren't originally from here, so we just made it into a recognized country and a unified country. Yeah, a unified country. Before it wasn't a unified country. It was a country with a bunch of tribes and different leaders and different kings and things like that. It wasn't a unified country, but I guess it was still a country. It wasn't really an established country. But I don't know the definition of country, but they had their own type of country. Yeah, they had their own different type of country before we came over here and established and took over and killed the natives and made our own own country, which wasn't even united before for a while. It was united for a little bit, just for a war. It was united for a little bit for a few wars, and then it became more established and it grew, and then it became divided, and then we had another war to unify us. We only unified during war, literally. During, before, and after war. Only times the country was unified, pretty much. And then it's become more and more unified over the years. Coming together and everything like that. United. It's finally becoming united, like its name, United States. Gonna name the continent and everything. Yeah. I'm sorry I'm not using correct terms. You should use Google and actual data and history facts and things like that. You know, generally know what I'm talking about. Very generally. Saying for certain specific. I keep saying Pacific. I have to fix it. Specific. Do it slowly. Specific facts and details need to be looked up. Yeah, so that's everything. Sorry, I had to delete some things and everything. Battery was low and internal storage was low, so it's been a wreck. That's all. Finally. Finally being done with me. Don't be me. Goodbye.